What is going on, bro? What the hell is going on with these polls? Some of you are aware because there's a lot of people confused saying, why are the polls being deleted? What's going on? You can't call these shows mid. Wait, what happened to the other poll? Poll is crazy. Because like the letter O and U are still like separated by the letter I on the keyboard. That is a crazy fucking typo. And then there's people like this. Where is this? Actual fucking retards. Calling Horimiya mid is kind of crazy. I can't lie, bro. And then where's the other comment? Horimiya ain't mid. I really hope that's a joke, man. It's a top tier rom-com. Every poll, without a doubt, like these idiots will only look at their show and get triggered and be like, it's not mid. Every show is called a mid. It's a community joke, but whatever. Tor's just getting filtered. So here's the idea. Yesterday, I made a series of videos, right? Yesterday, I made a series of videos explaining the schizo, mentally ill, unemployed motherfuckers who are brigading the polls. The brigading literally doesn't do anything. If you want some extra context, basically people have been posting my channel's poll onto different subreddits and communities, but the engagement that it gets on those subreddits and for them to actually mobilize and come out to poll, it is so insignificant at the end of the day. But out of principle, I basically deleted the poll and redid it. And I figured out that it is pointless to complain and whine and try to change the behavior of my audience. If I sit here and say, please stop doing this, that's not how the internet works. It is stupid on my behalf to ever expect the monkeys to ever behave correctly. Instead, it's better to have a system that bypasses that. And what is the system? Well, in the video, I talked about how I'm going to basically do polls unannounced and put it up for a couple hours and then basically delete it. The entire idea behind that is I don't need this shit to last for like a week. I just need that first couple hours upon upload, that core audience, they are who matters. They are not my entire audience, but that is the core majority in which these community series are for. So I've been doing random flash polls, leaving it up for 2 hours here and there. I also thought about the whole time zone issue, right? I thought about the time zone issue of like, well, if I had the poll up for like 2 to 3 hours and then I deleted it, but it only went up during time that, let's say, all the Siemens are, alive. Like the Southeast Asia people and the South Asia and basically the Europeans, but the North American people are neglected. It's not right. That's why I've been doing multiple polls in like 2 to 3 hour intervals spread out throughout the day. But not only that, I've been doing other stuff too. I realized that, and I've been doing this for a while, this whole concept known as the community series. And by the way, if you don't know how this stuff still works, every once in a while, I'll post a video like this. Which anime reactions do you want next? And the most liked comments is how we curate the selection of the poll. But here's the issue. Please. Even in a video like this, it can be manipulated. Plenty of times, external communities have brigaded these comments and liked it. Like Bakemonogatari, for example, has gotten like #1 likes in multiple polls, but they show up and it literally dies compared to other shows. You know why? Because the couple hundred people that can mobilize off of their group chats at the end of the day mean fucking nothing to the silent majority lurkers whom are watching my content and are actually voting for the other series. And what I've also noticed is that these selections, yes, it's a good idea to try and get extra data. Even if it's not the most accurate, it's still a good idea to get it. But just because the series have the most amount of likes doesn't mean they're going to get like the recognition in the polls. Because again, so many people are such like, they're just too lazy. Voter apathy, they don't care. They simply want to see a selection and they'll click onto it. That is basically the bigger silent majority that will always like, shift the momentum, and that's who I care about. So basically this poll, the reason why this doesn't have Index or Bake is I just wanted to test out some other series. I just wanted to put it up there and see how it's going on. I've noticed that about an hour of upload, but in that like 1 to 2 hour section, I've noticed that last 3 polls, it matures at like 2,000 votes at that 2 hour mark. It's at the 4 hour mark right now. It's gotten 2.6K votes, but I think that initial 2 hours, 1 hour, where that 2,000 people show up is pretty indicative of what people actually want. it's really cool to see Fate Unlimited Blade Works, you know, come out this far. And it's really also funny that Rent-A-Girlfriend, the reactions are just never going to work out. So I guess we're just kind of give up on that. I also wanted to just put in, you know, the Rising of the Shield Hero, just in case that, just to kind of feel it out. Like these polls, whatever wins, you guys need to realize I am collecting data in every single one of these polls before I delete it. Just because a series came out ahead or lost in a specific poll doesn't mean I'm going to react to it. I straight up could just react to Unlimited Blade Works and ignore Bake and Toaru, like Index 3, considering the sizable amount of people that came up in this limited amount of time and the fact that it's gotten such a big margin while Toaru and Bake are split. It seems like there is a very close tie within, you know, Toaru and Bake right now. But I see Unlimited Blade Works and coming out this high. I think that more people would actually enjoy this and that. So that's kind of the idea here. So basically, how it's going to work in our channel from here on out is I'm never going to have polls out for like 7 days. I'm going to have multiple polls happen throughout the day for a couple of hours, and I'm going to collect the results. And when it's time, I will use my own discretion and pick what show we want to watch. And I think that is the best way to do it. Again, the brigading literally doesn't matter. They are such an insignificant amount of traffic. And if you actually think that these subreddits and discords and group chats can manipulate these poll results, when you're a smaller channel, maybe. But as we get bigger and bigger, there's going to be way more organic viewership coming out. So it's ridiculous to think that there's brigading stuff happening and that's why I'm doing this. No, I'm doing this to really see what does the silent majority want. I'm going to keep testing. I'm going to put in different shows in, feel out the vibes. And once I have a confident vibe, I'll go with that. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the explanation of what's going on here. And so boom, just going to delete this poll too. Cool to see that, you know, the polls are like that, but tune in. Who knows when the next poll is going to go up. Remember, I'm going to try to, you know, post these in different time zones so that everyone can have their own different representation. But right now, I got an idea of what I want to watch, but there's still plenty of time before we finish up Dress Up Darling. So keep in tune. I think it's also good to keep people kind of on their toes and to keep constantly guessing. And they're like, what's going on? What are we watching? I don't know. You'll see.